My name is Diane. Welcome to my crochet channel. I have a great crochet project for you today. I will be showing you how to crochet this mesh style summer top. In this tutorial I will guide you on how to tailor this to your own perfect size and shape. This one you see here is a regular length that sits to the top of my legs, but you can customize this to exactly the length you want, from a crop top length to a full length dress. This is part one of a two-part series which enables me to walk you through each part in detail. So if you've ever wanted to crochet a summer mesh top, then I've got you covered in this video. In this first video, I will show you how to crochet these beautiful stitches, find the right size, and how to crochet the front and back panels. I will release part 2 next week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you don't miss part 2. Okay, let's get on to making this crochet top. So today I am using a double knit weight yarn, or a category 3 weight yarn. This is 100% acrylic. You can use cotton or bamboo for the summertime fabrics. This is the colour French Rouge by Deramores, and it's an anti-pilling yarn. Now, just to give you an idea of how much you'll need, for the one in the video you've just seen is an extra large, and I used 500 grams of yarn, so you'll probably need slightly less for the smaller sizes and slightly more for the larger sizes. So that's the yarn. Now for the hook sizes, I used 2 crochet hooks to create the stitches and do the crochet. I use a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook size, and this one I used for the slip stitch when I'm joining the panels together. It's slightly smaller. It's a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. That's optional, of course. If you're happy to do your slip stitch with the same crochet hook, that's perfectly fine. You're also going to need several stitch markers, a tape measure, some scissors, and of course the darning needle to sew in your ends. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so start by making your slip knot. And we're going to make our foundation chain in multiples of 4, and this is going to be the width of the first panel, the back panel. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So multiples of 4. Now to find your measurement is measure around your chest size and then divide that number by 2, and then add 1.5 to 2 inches depending on how loose you want the garment to be. So I'll put a little size chart up on the screen, and that size chart, remember to divide that number by half because we're doing the width of one panel here. So for your foundation chain, any multiple of 4 to the length that you want, the width that you want your back panel to be, and then you add 3 chains at the end for the foundation row. So pause the video here and I'll meet you ready to do row 1. So we've got to the width that you want your panel, back panel to be. Don't forget to add 3 chains. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so we're ready for row 1. Now we're going to work a triple, triple crochet. In the UK, I think you call it a double treble. So, but basically, I'll show you. I'll work through it slowly. So, into the 5th chain from the hook. So, for a treble crochet, you yarn over twice. So, yarn over twice. Find your 5th chain. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put your hook in there. Yarn over and pull up 1 loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull just through 2 loops. Now, leaving those 3 loops on your hook, yarn over once, skip 1 chain and put your hook into the next. Then yarn over and pull up a loop. And now you have 5 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 until you're left with 1 loop on your hook. Then chain 1. Now if you look down here, look at your stitch, you'll see 2 legs here. This one, just grab a darning needle to show you. This one and this one. And we're going to work our next stitch through these 2 legs of the stitch. Okay, to create the cross part. So yarn over, find these 2 legs of the stitch here, put your hook in through both legs of there, then yarn over and pull up a loop. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And you have created a treble cross stitch. Okay, let's show you that again. Now we don't skip any in between the actual cross stitches. Next, so yarn over twice. 1, 2. Find your next stitch, hook in, yarn over and pull up a loop. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we skip 1 chain and yarn over and work into the next. So skip a chain, work in, yarn, double crochet into the next. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Keep doing that until you have 1 loop left on your hook. And then you can see here the 2 legs of the stitch about in the middle. So always chain 1 first. Then yarn over, put your hook into the back of those 2 legs of the stitches, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It does seem a little complicated, but trust me, once you've done 2 or 3 of them, it's you know, very memorable. It's just when you're first learning the treble cross stitch, there's a few elements to it. But hang in there, I know you guys can do it. So, yarn over twice and find your next stitch and put your hook in. Yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through 2. Leaving those 3 loops on your hook, we are going to skip 1 chain and work into the next. So yarn over and put your hook into the next. Pull up a loop, and now you have 5 loops on your hook. So we're going to do that. Yarn over, pull through 2, 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 and then chain 1. Find these 2 legs of the stitch halfway down, yarn over, hook into the back of those 2 legs of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we're creating our treble crochet cross stitch. Okay, let's show you one more time. So yarn over twice, find your very next stitch or your next chain, hook in, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2. Then you've got 3 loops on the hook, and then this is where we skip 1 chain. So yarn over, ready for your next stitch, skip 1 chain, work into the next. So hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then yarn over, pull through 2, 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 then chain 1. Okay, as you can see, it's got the bottom part of the cross bit. We're now creating the top part. So find your 2 legs here, yarn over, hook in to the back of those 2 stitches, excuse me, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then it's effectively a double crochet now. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so continue all the way along your foundation row. There we go, that's another one. So keep going along your foundation row and I will meet you as we're approaching the end of row 1. So we're approaching the end of row 1 and we have 2 stitches left. So to finish the row, yarn over twice, and in that last, so skip 1 stitch, and in the last stitch place 1 treble crochet. Okay, so there's row 1. So row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. And we're going to begin, we're stacking the cross stitches on top of each other, so it's very simple to see where you put each stitch now. So yarn over twice, and in the top right hand corner of this cross stitch here, so skip 1 stitch, in the top of there, hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and in the top of the left hand side of this cross stitch, so you skip 1 stitch into the next, put your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then chain 1 and find those little vertical stitches there, little legs as I call them. Yarn over, put your hook through the back of those, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to continue all the way along row 2 exactly like this. So yarn over twice, hook in, you'll see to the top right hand side of the cross stitch from the row below, or just the very next stitch. Make sure I put it through both legs of that stitch. There we go. Pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Then leaving those 3 on the hook, yarn over and put your hook, skip 1 stitch, hook into the next. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Grab some wool. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Then chain 1. Then it's this bit here. Yarn over, hook behind those 2 vertical stitches there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there you can see we're stacking the cross stitches on top of each other. So continue row 2, which is your repeat row for the entire back panel. So put in your next treble crochet cross stitch. There we go. And repeat this all the way along. Okay, so repeat all the way along to the end of row 2 and I will meet you there. So here we are at the end of row 2 and we're approaching the turning chain, and we want to skip 1 stitch and put a treble crochet into the next. So yarn over twice, skip 1 stitch, treble crochet just into that 3rd chain up with a treble crochet stitch, which keeps the edges nice and straight. So that is your row repeat. So you chain 3, turn your work, and then repeat row 2 all the way across till the end, putting a treble crochet into the top corner here of your turning chain, and that is your repeat row pattern for the entire back panel and front panel. So for the back panel, obviously you can make this as long or as short as you want, but if you're following along the pattern, continue now until you have done 30 rows, and I'll meet you there and show you what to do next. Okay, so after 30 rows, you should have a great big panel, and this is your back panel, and it'll be in the size that for you. So what we do now is we have to make the front panel, and it is literally repeating what you've just done, and instead of doing 30 rows, make 24 rows, because we're going to make a little bit of a neckline in the front panel. So I think the front panel will come to about here. So do 24 rows are exactly the same way you've done this, And then once you've done that, I will show you how to make the neckline. Okay, so here is the front panel. I've had to bring the camera out so you can see the whole thing. It's 24 rows, so it's slightly shorter than the back panel. But I want to show you the top here where we're going to start to create a neckline. So first of all, we're going to measure across, and mine is 27 inches. I do have a loose crochet tension, so my garments always tend to stretch. Anyway, whatever your length or width here, 27, you want to find half of the middle of that, so 13.5. I'm going to put my stitch marker. So that's the middle of your panel. Now you can make your neckline as wide or as narrow as you like, but on average, an 8-inch neckline is plenty, unless you want to make it kind of coming off the shoulder. Then you probably want to make it a lot wider. But for this pattern, I'm using 8 inches. So I'm putting the 4 inches on the tape measure, and then I'm going to place a stitch marker at the beginning of that tape measure and a stitch marker at 8 inches. So that's our neckline here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start crocheting separately, each side upwards separately. So even though we've got our measurements here, we do want to make sure, like this one for example, if you can see, it's sat in the middle of the cross stitch. Don't really want for the stitches to be able to do the stitches properly. You want to make sure that it's in the stitch in between the cross stitch. So you can either go slightly smaller or slightly larger. I think in this case I'm just going to pop it in slightly smaller and put it just this side of the cross stitch, and the same this side. Luckily this one is not in the middle of the cross stitch. So that should work out just fine. Let's see how we get on. So what we need to do now, this is the where we finished off, and I'm going to grab my yarn, and we're going to do one side at a time. So as this is the side where we finished up, I'm going to work this side first. So I'm going to turn the whole thing around because I work from right to left. And what you can do is, if you have actually snipped off your, if you have actually snipped off your wool, we can just reattach, and we're going to start making the shoulder piece, if you like, creating this little neckline in the middle here. So I'll just pause the camera and bring it in a bit closer. So as you can see, I snipped off the yarn here, and I want to rejoin the wool. And there is a nifty little way that I've discovered recently that is really a good way of joining your wool. And I'll just bring this out of the way and show you. So you've got doesn't create any ends to sew in. So this is from my new ball of wool, and this is the end of the bit attached to the work. All we do is line them up side by side and take this one and put it over the top of the other piece of yarn, and then underneath, and then tie a knot in that new piece of yarn, just like that, and then come across here to the other two pieces, and with this, the end piece, put that over the top of the new piece, and then underneath, and tie a knot in that, just like that. Okay, and then just pull both ends, and they pull together. And now you can snip off the ends as close to the knot as you like, and it won't come undone. I found this method recently and I love it. So there you go. So you've got a little knot which probably will hide in the stitches. Anyway, so we are going to make our shoulders, or the neckline. So we've got our stitch here. So we're going to work the stitches exactly the same. Let's take out this stitch marker. So we would chain 3. Let's see if I can bring the camera in. So you would have chained 3, and we've already turned our work, so we're good to go. And now, so we're going to continue with our treble cross stitches, and we're going to go all the way up to our stitch marker. So as you've been doing, and probably quite well versed in the treble cross stitch by now, is start to make your treble cross stitch. I think I did that wrong. Try again. Can happen to the best of us. So yarn over twice, hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skip a stitch, hook in, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2 and pull through 2, chain 1, and then find your little vertical stitches, hook in, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Okay, so I'm going to continue as just like we've been doing before with the treble crochet cross stitch, so continue with your treble crochet cross stitch all the way along to your stitch marker. Okay, so you can see I've done my treble cross stitch and here's my first stitch marker, which is the neck. This is the edge of the neck line where your head goes. So what I'll do is just to finish off, this is one row now, you put in a treble crochet into that same stitch that the stitch marker is in. Let me lift that up so you can see what I'm doing. So I've yarned over twice, hook in where the stitch marker is, and then finish your treble crochet stitch. So that's the beginnings of your right hand shoulder. What we need to do now, that's row 1, we need to do 5 more rows because we did 24 rows here. We've done 1 row and the back panel is 30 rows. So from now, and I'll bring the camera in. So what we do is we'll chain 3 and turn our work so we're working backwards and forwards just up to the stitch marker for a total of 6 rows, so that then the whole panel is the same length as the back panel, but we've created a nice little neckline. So you chain 3, turn your work, and then carry on as normal with your treble crochet cross stitch, all the way along to the end here. Finish the row as normal, chain 3, turn your work, and do another row up to here, the stitch marker, and continue until you've done from where the stitch marker is until you've done 6 rows. So carry on and do that, and when you've finished those 6 rows, let's just pop a stitch marker in. When you finish those 6 rows, we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So, but starting on the outside here, make your treble crochet, cross stitch rows, finishing the row here, and then work backwards and forwards up to the stitch marker and back again for 6 rows. And what you will have created is your side shoulder panels and a neckline. Okay, so when you've finished both sides here, you've created your lovely little square neckline, and just count your rows just to double check that you have 30 rows, exactly the same as the back panel. Okay, so before we move on to actually making the sleeves, what I'm going to do, and you don't have to do this, but just a little top tip, is I am now going to pin with my stitch markers the two sides together and try it on. The reason I'm doing this is because it's an oversized garment and it's going to be loose and oversized. These shoulders here are probably going to come past your shoulders, as it were. Now if I pin these together and try it, just pop it over my head, just gently pin them together with a few stitch markers. If I do this across here and a little bit down here, pop it over my head, try it on and see where it comes to past the shoulder line, because then you'll know not to do a full length sleeve. You could take a little measurement from where the sleeve will start. It could be a couple of inches down your arm, it could be more, it could be less, but this is what I'm going to do so that I know exactly how long to make my sleeves. So if you want to do this stage, you can. If not, you can go ahead and skip to the part where we make the sleeves. Okay, I'm going to finish pinning this together a little bit and try this on. Hey everyone, that's the end of part 1 of this video tutorial. I hope that it's got you started on your very own summer mesh top in the size and length just right for you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to pop them into the comment section below and I will be happy to answer any queries at all. Look out for part 2 next week, in which I will show you how to crochet the sleeves and then assemble all the panels together, so then you'll have your completed mesh crochet top. So for now, happy crocheting and I will see you next time.